This conference will now be recorded.
The front hinge area, you can see it's all painted body color. This is what the hinges look like, 53s through 55s. There's the door bottom. You can see a little opening along the outside to let water drain out if it gets in there. The sill plates along the bottom are polished stainless steel, held in with Phillips head screws. The sketchings on the door panels that the door handle and the side curtain release come through. Early 53s, they were crimped in around the door handle. Later on, they screwed them in. The release for the side curtain was all crimped in. You can see it here. The screwed on door handle and the crimped on side curtain release. There was an armrest, had a built-in pocket with basically like a glove box, which a lot of the paperwork content was placed into for the early cars.
No, there you go. I'm in. I'm a Corvette.
The door, the opening there, you can see the snap that holds the lid tight against the door when it's closed. The switch for the courtesy lights mounted on the dog leg just above where the VIN tag was mounted in the early cars. The door catch on the early cars was a ratcheting type, held in with 3 screws around the outside of it there. The catch on the back door jamb, different angle of it. '56, '57 panels were a little different than the earlier ones. They did not have the pull mounted up on the top like them. They had more of a door pull on the panel itself. You can see the window cranks. They had roll-up windows starting in '56. Held on by screws around the outside again. This particular door panel or this particular car had power windows. You can see there was no window crank. It just had a lever type switch there. The door panels and the kick, this is a particular kick panel here from the front. The impressions in the panel, the wafer pattern was a lot deeper in the door panels and the wafers than it was in the seat panels. You can see the courtesy light moved down on the front door jamb along with the VIN tag, 56. The hinges changed a little bit from the earlier cars. The courtesy light switch on the 56, 57s, there was no particular place in the AIM, so you may see it in 3 or 4 different locations. You can see the last one was on the front jamb. This is up more in the dog leg part of the door. Door lock knob toward the back of the door. Close up of the window cranks. The back side should have a part number in it. should be held on with a rivet, not screws. The sill plate for 5657 was polished stainless steel and had a textured step plate toward the rear, held on by 4 screws on the step plate. The main sill plate itself is held on with Phillips screws down the side. There's a power window switches for the 5657s. The door latch on the rear jamb was a little different than the earlier cars. Had a little rubber bumper in there. It was about a 1/2 inch diameter, about 7/16 inches tall. A little white plunger up the top on the spring. '58 panels changed considerably. The main part of the panel was a Chatham grain vinyl. You had an aluminum panel in the middle embossed in square design. The top chrome piece, the first type in '58 didn't have a screw in it. The second type had a screw in the top. The panel itself was a 2-piece panel. The top piece was held on with 3 screws at the back edge, front edge. The bottom panel was held on with screws around the outside. This is the 2-piece panel. You can see the grommets where the screws go through are pressed into the board itself. There you can see the top and the bottom part of the panel. That's the back side of them. You can see here the molding across the top. I was telling you that this is after the revision where the screw held it in the top. The first one, the screw come in from the bottom to hold them in. This is an early cap up close. You can see there's no screw hole in the top. The later ones had a screw hole in the top. You can see the difference in the early '58s to the late '58s, early '59s. Armrest bolted onto the door panel with Phillips head bolt or screws. '59 panel changed. The doorknob itself was in the aluminum rather than the vinyl, and the vinyl like it was on the '58. The leather grain vinyl changed to a Seville style leather graining in it. The panels '59 was held on. It was just all one piece panel, held on with screws around the outside. You can see that top molding piece in the '58 it was screwed in from the side. The '59 it's got like wags or lugs attached right to it, and it bolts down from the top. There's a '59 late cap 60. It's got an indentation in the top rather than being smooth like the earlier '59s and late '58s. There you can see the difference in it. Difference between power windows and the manual windows. You can see the cranks down a little lower, where the power windows, the switches are up a little higher toward the edge. It's got power windows. It should have a tube running up there for the wiring going out to the switches. Sill plates, somewhat similar to the '57s, '56, '57s, had an extra step plate in the back. 1960, the panel itself changed, went from a square dimple, square embossed panel to a dimple type. You had carpet along the bottom of the edge. There's the difference between the 58 aluminum panel and the 60. You can see the difference in the squares to the dimples. '61, the aluminum panel had horizontal lines across it. Still held on with screws around the outside perimeter of the panel itself. '61, '62 caps were a little longer than the earlier caps on the chrome piece across the top. You can see the difference between the 60 and the '61, '62s. '61, '62 sill plates was all one piece. Excuse me. The 62 panels did not have a aluminum piece in the middle. It's all vinyl. The sketching around the door release knob is a little bit bigger than it was in '61. The two reflectors are up and down instead of horizontal like it was on the earlier cars.
Mike,
Yeah,
there's a question. Where were the holes for the power window wiring not present in cars without power windows?
do what now?
Maybe this is a little ahead. Where were the holes for the power window wiring not present in the cars without power windows?
Like this little indentation right down in the center of the front there. You can see where the hole should be if it's there for, or if it's got power windows.
Yeah, I can see it.
If it don't have power windows, it's not cut out. I hope that answers the question. Does anybody got any comments or can add anything to anything on the C1 so far? Is there any more questions? Okay, we'll move on to the C2 stuff. 63, instead of all convertibles, you've got coupes and convertibles, so you got a couple different doors themselves, so the panels are a little different between them. The Seville leather grain was up toward the top part, had stitching up and down. The power windows versus the manual windows. You can see the back upper reflector was also the door lock itself. All cars, whether they power windows or manual windows, had the vent window crank toward the top. 63, all the doorknobs were black or a dark color. The 64s, they were chrome. Close up of the vent crank handle. The door lock knob with the reflectors in the outer edge. The armrest and door pull was plastic with chrome covering over the plastic. Looking down the top of a door, you can see how it kind of forms around where the vent window is. Some of the reproductions don't quite conform to that as good as the originals do. The door bottom for 63. You can see how the panel kind of don't necessarily all fit real tight against the door panel or the door frame itself. Early sills in the 63s and I think early 64s only had like 4 screws holding the sill plate on. It was had 2 places where there was ribs, half-inch wide recessed areas with 12 ribs. Later cars after VIN 1700 approximately in 64, they went to 6 screws holding them on. Top of the coupe, around the top edge of the door had a rubber seal around there or weather stripping. Front edge of the door had plugs holding the weather stripping to the door itself. In 63, the door handles did not have this little shield behind it. This started in 64, went through 67, so you could not actually see back into the door opening itself. With 63s, you probably could. Difference between a coupe and a convertible door had a kind of an alignment block or a extra kind of support block. And there's the rear door jamb. You can see the difference. The convertibles had the receiving part of that support also. '64, the back of the door, you can see kind of sloppy glue work on the weather stripping around the edge. '65 went to a molded door panel. The lock was kind of at the back with a twist. It did not have the reflector in it like the 63s, 64s. Had a regular door pull anchored right into the panel rather than having an opening in the door armrest, more or less. Just armrest was solid on these with molded into the door with chrome accent around the front edge. And there's the lock knob for 65, 66. You can see it's solid across the face part of it. Or 67, you'll see it has a indentation in it. The vapor barriers behind the door panel itself, black on one side, tan on the other. I couldn't help but put this one in. This was a bow tie 65 car, and everybody tells how sloppy the original glue work was. This just shows it very well. The door panels are held on with little clips that slide into the panels and are screwed to the bottom, front, back of the doors. There should be a dimple in the front door jamb that on all St. Louis cars and early 65 A.O. Smith cars, and somewhere in the middle of A.O. Smith they had them on there too, but a lot of the A.O. Smith cars did not have the little dimple in there. That was a cutout for the power windows. There you can see the cutout for a power window in the front door jamb. The dash tabs that come into the door area. You can see if the dash was different than the exterior color, then the rivets got painted. The latch area at the back door jamb, a lot of times did not have a lot of paint inside it because it was masked off during the painting process. 66 door panel, like the 65s. The rear of the 66, you can kind of see the sloppy glue on this door also. Power window tube opening. You can see the up in the upper hinge at the back area is where the switch for the courtesy lights is located. Window felts on the top of the door fastened to the panel itself. 67 door panel, a lot similar to 65, 66, with the exception of where the door lock is, just moved forward considerably. There's the door lock knob itself for the 67. You can see it's got a indentation through the upper part, and it's painted black in there, where the 65, 66 was a solid piece. The sills themselves was changed for 67. Was one larger piece where the ribs were at in the center of the bottom sill there. There's a close-up of the switch inside the top door hinge area. You can see the MB on the head of that plunger. '63 through '67 door hinges. The window cranks themselves, the knob was colored to the interior for 67. You can see there the lock knob was moved considerably forward also in there. The window cranks themselves, front and back view. '67 had a mark of excellence sticker on both doors. The vapor barrier for 67 changed to just a plain piece of like white vinyl sheet. I mean, it was did not have the black and the tan like the earlier cars did. You can see the clip holding the door panel on, fastened to the bottom of the door there. The vapor barrier hanging out of that one pretty good. Rear jamb with the catch.
Hey, Mike, can we take a break here? You got about
Yep, go.
5 questions.
Okay, we're at the end of the 60 or the C2s, so
Okay.
go ahead.
Chris Ingstrom, does anyone know why A.O. Smith stopped putting the dimple in the door jamb, the area for the power window and door switch area? And there's another one. When the vent and door glass are in the up position, what position are the vent and door handles cranks supposed to be in? There's another one. If you click on chat, Mike, you can see them. When the vent and door, I'm sorry, where was I? If the door jamb panels were all made at MFG and Ashtabula, why wouldn't all bodies, St. Louis and A.O. Smith, have the dimples?
I can't answer them. If anybody out there can speak up. I can do some more research and see if I can find out anything, but I haven't found out a whole lot so far.
Mike, could you repeat the questions one by one?
I don't have the questions. Rick will have to repeat them.
Start with one from, does anyone know why A.O. Smith stopped putting the dimple in the door jamb area for the power window switch opening area?
Next question.
The second question is, when the vent and door glass are in the up position, what position are the vent and door handle cranks supposed to be in?
It's supposed to be on the fucking door.
If the door jamb panels were all made at MFG and Ashtabula, why wouldn't all bodies, St. Louis and A.O. Smith, have that dimple? Another one, Mark, I thought A.O. Smith made all body panels. Are you saying that the door jamb panels were made by someone else other than A.O. Smith? Mark Francis says, yes, my understanding is all Corvette fiberglass, at least for C2s, was made by MFG and Ashtabula. Through the years, were interior door panels constructed in-house or by vendors? If all, vendors who? How well did the door panel fit to the door at the bottom of the panel? Or the ones that are up here?
Thanks, Rick, but I have no answers.
I don't either, so I guess we'll have to do some more digging on some of this. Anybody else got any answers for any of them? Okay, I guess we'll move on and leave some unanswered questions here because I don't know the answers. All right, we'll move into the C3 stuff. 68 door handles and locks were down in the center of the door panel itself. 68 first style handle was smooth and convex on the back side. The second style, they made a lot lighter and just had the ribs around the outside, but it was too flat or too thin and broke pretty easily. So 69 to 77, they added some stiffening ribs in the back. 68 panel, early panels just had the hole molded right in the upper part of the panel itself, where the later 68s had a pull screwed to the outside of the panel. Manual windows versus power windows. You can see no crank on the door panel, or no switches on the door panel. The switches on the for the windows was in the center console. The panel itself for 68 had no stitching along the top like it did in later years. Had a door alignment bronze wedge on the back side. The top of the panel had no chrome on it. It was just solid vinyl up to where the window seal was. Trim tag was mounted on the front front panel or front door opening.
Come on. Come on, girl. Who's up?
68 rear door jambs had no water deflectors to start off with. They had a door ajar switch down at the lower portion. Later on, the water deflectors was like a first ones was a rubber piece that was pop riveted in, I guess. I do not have a picture of the rubber piece. The door striker bolts was an Allen type head to screw them in. Door switches, SX on the plunger head 68 through early 73s. The sills, early cars was wider than the later ones, attached with 4 Phillips head screws. Was kind of a flat black in between the raised areas. 69 panel, they added a door pull up and down, and the center of the panel had a comfort weave textured like the seats. Also had a chrome strip along the top edge. The first style stopped short of coming to the end of the door. The second style went clear out to the end. And the early doorknobs later doorknobs was color black. Backside of that window cranks. See the part number. Screws did not hold the knobs on. Here you can see the comfort weave insert on the door panel. Manual windows versus power windows. Late 68, 69 put a longer bronze wedge on the door, rear of the door. The water diverter in 69 was glued till around VIN 2800. Then it was pop riveted on. The sill plate, raised area was toward the inside of the car. 69, in September 1st of 69, it was mandatory to put the certification label on. It was printed off of the protective plate, so a lot of times you can see part of the protective plate next line down on the bottom edge of the certification label. Here you can see an original versus a reproduction. A lot of reproductions, the S's over here don't line up. There's a difference in the font also. If you look real close, you can see that the originals are a little thicker than the reproduction. Starting in 70, you could get a deluxe interior. When you got that, you got a walnut grain panel in place of the comfort weave. Also starting in 70, you had stitching along the top edge of the door. Here you can see the difference between an original stitch and a reproduction. Reproductions are pretty much flat in line, where the originals were tapered up. Difference between a coupe and a convertible. Convertible had an extra kind of a reinforcement aligning pin, might say, on the back of the door, and also on the back door jamb itself, the receiver. Starting the end of January of 70, changed to a star rather than a hex head for the striker bolt. VIN certification label was still printed off of the protective plate. 71. Where the location of it was at. The upper hinge area, painted body color. Lower hinge, you can see the door switch. Sill plates. Trim tags was pop riveted to the door jambs. Certification label 72, they added weights front and rear, and also they put passenger car at the bottom. January 72, the additional information was added, and the judging manual states that it should be a diagonal mark, but I found a few with the hyphens between them. Talking with Gary a lot on this, we're not quite sure, but we have found a number with the hyphen between rather than the diagonal mark. 72, there was no water diverter again. 73, there's a slash mark between the month and the year on the certification label. Also, there was a safety beam added to the outside of the door. You can kind of see it in the opening. 73, there was a tire label added to the back of the door. Had a part number on the bottom. It moved a couple times during 73, went into the rear compartments and then back to the door panel, or back rear of the door again. 74, they added a water diverter again. The deluxe door panels 70 through 75 was a walnut. In 76, they went to a teak wood. '75 certification label. It changed in during '75. Later ones had the white rather than the blue background. A little different formatting of it. Also, the tire sticker label changed part numbers in '75. You can see a reproduction tire label. The corners are not rounded. A lot of times on reproduction, you can see a lot of difference in the fonts themselves on the reproductions. 75 convertible was the last C3 with a door alignment pin receiver on them. Switches for 75, 76 has a B or an MB on the head of the plunger. The trim tags was painted from 76 to 79. Certification label. The part number for 76 changed to a 370912. '77 door panels no longer had the deluxe interior, so there was a black insert place where the wood grain was at. Door sills with the water diverter at the back. '77, the switches had a nylon head on them. Could have a B, M, or MB marking, or no head marking at all. There's an MB. '78 panel. This is particular one's out of a pace car. You can see the door handles changed. Earlier ones had the handle on the lower part with the insignia and black around the insignia. Now they went just to a solid chrome handle in a recessed cup area on the door panel. Power door lock switch. You see the mirror adjustment up in front of the door handle itself. Here you can see a very good painted trim tag. The door sills changed a lot. Just a thin piece of stainless down there screwed in. Most of it was carpet now. You can see the water diverter at the back still. The striker bolt a lot of times had numbers and face of them. The back of the door itself. You can see the catch itself in the door where it went into the striker bolt, held in with the screws unpainted. The certification label and the tire label changed considerably in '78. 79 door panel. 79 door panel with cloth interior. Had cloth up on the mid part that matched the seat area. If you had manual windows in 79, it went right through the pocket at the front of the door, which made the pocket pretty much useless. Had a Velcro strip that held the pocket shut back in there. Manual locks versus power lock. You can see the power lock switch up at the front edge of the door. Early cars, late cars, the switch position changed. This particular car had the driver's side behind the door handle and the passenger side in front of the door handle. So it wasn't a smooth transition of change. This is the same car, by the way, folks. Rick told me he's seen a number of them like this on the later 79s, so not an uncommon occurrence. Sill plate, water diverter, certification and tire label location, 80 door panel, standard versus the cloth again. Mirror adjustment and the door lock switch. It had the sports mirror with adjustment. There was also an adjustment on the passenger side at times. Trim tags for 80. St. Louis cars was taped off when it was painted. 81 Bowling Green cars was installed after paint. So there should be no paint around the edges at all. Another plastic head with the MB in it in 81. Two-tone cars could have had a black bottom part. 82 collectors door panel had leather, not vinyl on it. I believe that's about it for the C3s. Is there any questions or comments, or can anybody add anything? I know I'm missing a lot, but there's a lot here to cover, and I couldn't get it all in. I'm sorry.
You got two questions? Hold on.
Yes, Mike, I have sent you a comment. Behind the door panel, there's a white control sticker on the left and right door at the top of the towards of the door hinges, near the door hinges, that have each on each door 1971. When you want, I can send you an example for this.
Mike?
Yeah.
There's a question. Hold on.
You're cutting in and out on me, Rick. I lost you, Rick, if you're there.
Just a minute.
I'm not getting you, Rick, if you're talking to me.
Slide 110 refers to 67 I believe you meant 77.
60, slide 110. It's for 68. And cars built through December of 67 had a half-inch wider plate than that. I don't. What was the other question?
He Matt Lewis asked when the C3 had water diverter installed, were they on both the coupe and convertible?
Yeah, as far as I know. Anything, any other questions or any comments or anybody add anything? Okay, we'll move on to the C4 stuff then. C4 door panel. Had a defroster duct that was on the actually on the door that went up on the glass, and it come out of the dash and went into the door through these openings. And the grill for that was right there at the top, and the black panel across the top that blew up kind of in front of where you looked out through the rearview mirror. 84s, early 84s had a T-handle type door release. The wiper control was also in the door. '84s and '85s had a touchpad for the power door locks. And I know this door handle looks a little worn. This is off my '85, which has 300,000 miles on it, so give it a break. It is well used. There's another picture of the manual door lock part. It has a international orange spot that shows up when it is unlocked. Switches in front and back on these doors. The back switch was actually in the door, not in the door jamb like it was in the earlier C3s. The hinge area. You can see the door switch, the switch in there. It's dark colored black with, and it has an MB on it. I think I got a better picture of that coming up. There's the hinges for the C4s. There's the switch itself. You can kind of see the MB. I got a little bit too much light on the parts. You can't see the M real good. At the rear of the doors, there was a switch that you could release the hatch on the coupes. There's the rear switch for the alarms and stuff on the door jar on the back part of the door, black. Doors themselves had a speaker. Bottom front corner was it had the Bose. It had the Bose insignia on it. If it was just a Delco, it didn't have the Bose on it. It's kind of a cloth with a plastic surrounding around it. there's the emblem on the front of the speaker itself. They had the certification labels. You can see this one's been painted. It should not have any paint around it like that. The sills were plastic. The early cars, or the coupes, had a door alignment. They felt the doors was big enough that they needed some extra support. The jam itself had a receiver. Then the door itself had a male portion that went into the receiver on the jam. The coupes were different than the convertibles. We'll get to 86. We'll show you the difference. The striker bolts was CAD plated. Certification label. Door panel for an 86, a lot like the earlier cars. The panel itself, or the electric door lock changed from the touchpad to a toggle switch type in 86. There you can see the rear hatch release, door jar switch, where the certification labels all located. If it's convertible, it released the deck lid for the convertible to go down under. You can see the switch was changed a little bit for 86 than it was from the 84 and 85s. There's the alignment set up for a convertible. You can see it's more round. Certification stickers. Tire sticker at the other right side. The door jambs, rear door jambs, 84 through 87 was solid, and 88 through 96 had a vent in them. Also, the striker bolt was CAD plated through 87, and 88 through 96 it was painted black. You can see the car on the right was a coupe by the alignment receiver up here, and the car on the left was a convertible with the round part. Starting in 88, the sills was carpet covered. 1990, you see we lost the speaker in the door panel. The door panel itself changed quite a bit. The kind of the armrest was all black on all, no matter what interior color. The lettering for the controls was orange in 90 through 93. The buttons were black in 90. There you can see the driver's side versus the passenger side, how the armrest was black, and the passenger side it was painted or painted interior color. You can see that the power window switch was up on the door panel itself. It wasn't in the armrest like it was on the driver's side. Okay, the orange on the block itself, it changed. It was a black and orange stripes starting at 90. Knobs you can see for the windows and the door lock, and also the mirror adjust was gray. '90 through '93 rear hatch switch, you can see it had orange lettering on it. Had carpet along the bottom edge of the door panels in 92. Courtesy light, door jar, theft alarm switch in 90 and 96. And the release for the rear hatch or the deck lid for the convertibles. Alignment pins and locators were not used from 93 to 96. You can see up in the upper area they put a sticker there now. 93 through 96, if it passed a pre-delivery inspection at the plant, it got this on it. Orange graphic on the switch for a 93. This is a coupe, and it released the rear hatch. The passenger side was blocked off on the rear of the door panel. There's no switch on there, as in the earlier years. Convertibles, they didn't release the deck lid from there anymore. It was up in the back, so both sides of the door panel had block-off plates in them. '90 through '91, gray knobs. '92 through '93 had black knobs with the orange lettering. '94 door panel. And no carpet at the bottom anymore. It's vinyl now. A 93 versus a 94 door panel. You can see they changed the armrest area a little bit. Controls on the driver's side was now in white lettering. Passenger side control. Hinge area is painted body color. Stickers used in 94 through 96. The certification labels changed formats in 95. Door panel for 96. Switches and the mirror adjustment. '94 through '96, instead of having the orange, they had black and white stripes now on the area of the door lock. Certification label for 96 changed again. That's it for the C4s. If we got questions or comments or anybody add anything?
Mike, there's one question. Why did driver's side and passenger side have different colors for armrest area in 1990? Seems aesthetically questionable.
I don't know. Can anybody answer that? Why did GM do a lot of things? I don't know. Okay, we'll go on to the C5s. Door panel 97 through 04. You can see it's got a speaker back in the panel again. The door sills. The switch area without the memory. Here's the switch area with the memory. Automatically
Probably the
adjust.
seat.
Huh?
I believe that would be for the seat.
It adjusted the seats, mirrors, and I think steering wheel to somewhat. I'm not sure what all
Mhm.
the memory changed, but it was quite a bit.
Yeah, once you sit in there, if you were number one, you hit that, and all the settings you get set for the
Yeah,
seat and steering wheel and possibly the pedals.
yeah. If you didn't get that option, your thing looked like this. It didn't have the memory switches across the top.
Hmm.
So there's the passenger side switches. You can see the Bose speaker at the bottom front corner. Had the Bose insignia on it. Hinges painted black. The tube in the middle was for all the wiring coming up through there. The switches was now integrated with the door lock itself. You can see the plug in the bottom or the two different areas here for the switching for the electric lock and also for the uh, courtesy lights and so forth. The catch on the back, black through 97 or 97 through 04. '99 certification label. You also had the Legend Lives added in there. The tire information also. There's the Legend Lives sticker. Sills used from 99 to 04. Had a rubber piece on it with a Corvette emblem toward the back. Starting in 2001, if you got a Corvette museum delivery, you also got that sticker on the back of the door. The latch area on the back door jamb. 2004 door sticker. You can see the tire load information. Sticker is changed. I guess that's it for the C5s. I don't have a whole lot on that. Is there any questions or any comments? Okay. C6 door panel. Driver's side door panel. Security warning light up in the back, up on top at the back corner. Bose speaker versus a standard speaker. Wiring conduit and the black hinges. Certification label. White background with black lettering. 2006 passenger door. driver's door switches. The sill plate. 2006 sill plate. The striker was attached with rivets. Silver through 2005 to 2007. It wasn't painted black like the earlier cars. Rear door jamb area. Had a Jillian date down inside the latch area. Tire label. Rear jamb. (2007) sill. Sill on pace cars and Z06 cars was different. See, it was all black there. And the certification label. Silver background with black lettering in 2007. And that's all I have, folks. I hope everybody enjoyed it. I hope you got something out of it. If there's any questions or anything you can add, speak up.
Before everybody runs off, there's some names up there with just a first name. One's Bob, Gene, Pete, two Steves. I need a last name or an NCRS number. And there's also one says caller 5. I need an NCRS number or a name, please. If you right click or if you left click on your name, you can add that to your name, first name.
Thank you, guys. That was great.
Thank you, Mike and Rick. Appreciate everything.
You're more than welcome.
Hey, Mike, regarding the last session on hoods, when are they going to record the points? Would you know?
Pardon?
I want to know when you're going to record the points, Rick.
I'm going to work on them today. I'll try and get them done by Monday.
Yeah, my question isn't about this session. It's about the one last January.
Pardon?
My question isn't about this session. It's the one in January that I haven't seen a point recorded yet.
You're going to have to get a hold of Kurt Ludig at Heart of Ohio. I have nothing to do with the points from January.
Okay, yeah, I sent him an email, so I'll just be patient.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't even recognized as being there in January, so I don't know what happened, but I'm sure there's a lot of people got looked over.
Okay. Always enjoy it. Thanks, Mike.
Hey, Mike, this is Chris. Are you still on?
Yeah.
Hey, can you go back to that comment on the C2 section we were having a chat on and just show me that slide again? It's the one with you call out something like up through late 64, St. Louis cars had the dimple and door jamb for power windows. And I just want to make sure I capture that break. That was news to me.
Okay, I'm trying to get there.
No problem.
Ah.
I'm sorry, I didn't capture what slide it was on. Probably in the 64.5 area somewhere.
That one?
In mid 65.
Yeah, if you look in the 65 judging manual, it tells you the early cars had it, and then there's some that didn't, and then I think it was around 11,000 they had it again for a while. But a lot of the A.O. Smith cars did not have the dimple for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah, and I did some really highly analytical research on eBay here just a minute ago.
Yeah.
What I could find quickly is 66, 67 A.O. Smith cars. It doesn't seem like it's there.
Right. It was just in 65 for the A.O. Smith cars for a certain time, but most A.O. Smith cars does not have the dimple.
Yeah, which kind of makes sense because AO would have cut the power window channel, so they wouldn't have needed that dimple in there for those cars. I think the discussion we were having was if that panel was made at AO Smith, then they would have had to make two versions of it, which seems a little weird. But somebody else was mentioning that particular panel maybe wasn't made at the Ionia plant for AO Smith. So
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of different opinions on what I've come across on this. So
yeah, no, that's okay. I'm not trying. Just wanted to make sure I understood. So
okay.
Thanks again for all you do. The presentation was great.
Problem. Okay, thank you.
Have a great. Bye-bye.
Mike, here's a Chris Hoagland, 39577. He asked Mike, can I get an electronic copy? I might be able to help you with the next door years.
Hey, Mike, this is Chris Hoagland.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you guys end up doing another one for the next generation, I probably have some background information that you could put into it. So I will just let me know if you do that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, I'm getting out of here, Rick.
All right.